We are excited to announce the launch of a new statewide onboarding program beginning in the summer of 2019. We are going to take you through the details of how we got to where we are today to develop the program, and then we'll outline the details. But first, we want to simply explain what onboarding is. There are a lot of different interpretations of the onboarding process, so we wanted to be clear in how we view onboarding, as this drives our entire process and strategy. Onboarding is a process that assimilates a new employee into the organization in order to be successful in the shortest amount of time. A successful onboarding process begins when a new hire accepts a job offer and extends well beyond their start date and into their first year of employment. A positive onboarding experience has been shown to improve employee engagement and retention rates. How does a successful onboarding process align to state strategic goals? The state of Vermont is embarking on a 5-year strategic plan. As part of this effort, some of the Agency of Administration's goals are increased productivity, employee engagement, retention, and supporting a culture of continuous improvement. In order to achieve those goals, we are implementing a statewide employee onboarding process that includes new employee orientation, standardized training courses, professional development pathways, and key communication points for managers to check in with their new hires. We decided to create a new process because we discovered that onboarding processes in Vermont state government agencies are inconsistent and in some cases non-existent. There is a lack of tracking outcomes of existing programs to validate their effectiveness. Additionally, developing a statewide onboarding process that is effective and used consistently by all agencies and departments, and that contains measurable outcomes, will create a foundation for long-term success for the employee and the employer. Onboarding affects employee engagement and retention. Here are some interesting metrics to support that. We want to discuss the scope and goals of this onboarding project. First, the scope. The onboarding process developed by this effort is intended to be utilized by all state agencies and departments. Agency-specific onboarding is outside the scope of this effort. The onboarding process begins when a candidate accepts an offer of employment with the Vermont state government and ends with successful completion of the probationary period, which is generally the first 6 months of employment for most classified employees of the executive branch. Our goals are to develop an effective, consistent onboarding program with measurable outcomes for the state of Vermont. The process will provide education and support to hiring managers and help new hires build relationships, learn about the organization's culture, and provide resources and support to help them be successful. We are confident that this program will lead to shorter times to hire, improved results in employee satisfaction surveys, and higher rates of retention in traditionally high turnover jobs. Our project team was made up of a cross-functional group contributing diverse skills, including training, human resources administration, cross-functional leadership, talent acquisition, project management, and continuous improvement in business process engineering. Over the course of the project, we explored state of Vermont agency and department onboarding, best practices and business processes, state of Vermont agency and department documentation and procedural manuals, value stream mapping to identify current and future state tasks and actions with proper role definition and assignment, and research of others' best practices, including government entities like NASA and private sector organizations. What are the results of the project? We have developed a toolkit that will simply and effectively take managers and their new hires through the first 180 days of employment and beyond. A dedicated area on the DHR website that is a one-stop shop for hiring managers to reference as a roadmap to onboarding, as well as a dedicated area for new hires to reference. There will be a companion guide for onboarding PDF document for hiring managers, standardized statewide training curriculums that will focus on legal and cultural issues, planning resources for checklists, timeline guide, sample schedules for the first day, week, and months of employment, and resources for interviewing to ensure a quality hire for better retention and engagement. We will now take you through the stages of onboarding. As you will see, we will briefly talk about what happens before you even start the recruiting process. Having a good recruitment strategy will help you lay the groundwork for a successful onboarding process when your new candidate is hired. Step 1. Approval to recruit. The planning stage is a critical point in ensuring you have a successful hire. Depending on your internal business process, you can either obtain approval prior to creating a requisition or use the SuccessFactors recruiting system to include the appointing authority in the approval workflow in the system. You will then want to have a call with your talent acquisition specialist to develop your recruitment strategy. They will reach out to you to schedule this conversation. If necessary, partner with classification on job specs if you need to update. Step 2. Job posting. We will cover writing compelling job descriptions, posting on our career site, strategizing with the talent team on where to market, handling temporary positions, what our posting policies are, and the rules around RIF clearing. Step 3 is the screening process, reviewing candidates in the SuccessFactors recruiting system. We will also cover pre-screening from talent acquisition, a new valuable service your talent acquisition team is now performing. Step 4, interviews. Using proven evidence-based interviewing techniques will give you the best chance of hiring the most qualified candidate for your position. We will cover planning and preparation for interviews, developing the right mix of question types, including behavioral, general, and strength-based questions, developing evaluation criteria, scheduling and conducting interviews, evaluating all candidates, and reference checking. Step 5. Making an offer and paperwork. We will cover a new simplified process in SuccessFactors for tax compliance and criminal history declaration, nepotism waivers, requesting a job offer in the hiring system, and disposition of non-selected candidates. Step 6. Preparing for your new hire. We will cover communicating with the proper contacts for setting up system accesses, assets, workspace, and sending out a new hire announcement to the department or group. Step 7. Welcoming your new employee. Sending out a welcome email or letter with a plan for going forward, planning for the first day, weeks, and beyond. Step 8. Orientation activities. We will discuss what the new employee orientation will now entail. Step 9. Identifying a buddy. We will cover the buddy's role and areas of support to the new hire in place of the hiring manager. Step 10. Onboarding plan and schedule. We will review the first 12-month timeline activities, check-ins, and responsibilities, including having a sample first-day schedule. We will also provide checklists for milestone dates in the first 12 months of employment. Step 11. Ongoing activities. This includes regular meetings on feedback, coaching, and mentoring, role, responsibilities, and expectations reiterated, required trainings, getting 360 feedback from other team members on the new employee, goal setting, development plans, and evaluation after the probation period. What happens next? We will roll out a pilot program with DHR, BGS, and the Department of Labor in December 2018 and take the program statewide in the summer of 2019. We will also introduce several resources, guides, and checklists, as well as a website to help guide you on this new program. Please contact us in talent acquisition or your field HR representative if you have more questions. We are very happy to partner with you on this process.